It was late on a Friday afternoon, and I was sitting with Carolyn and our son Dave. My son asked me a question about the cruise ships that were in the Portland harbor. I suddenly couldn't articulate what my answer was, and Carolyn immediately determined I must be having a stroke.
Within minutes, Don had been transported over to Maine Medical Center. I was really scared, and the kids were really scared, and part of that is, you know, one, seeing him not be able to move.
I don't know that I realized how critical it was. It was just a matter of listening to what the doctor had to say as he performed the thrombectomy.
So we get to patients within 3 hours who do not have hemorrhage in their brain or a large completed stroke. They get an IV medication called TPA. The problem with that is there are many patients who have large vessel occlusions, meaning they have a very large burden of clot in one of the big blood vessels in the brain, where TPA tends not to break up these big clots. The current generation of mechanical thrombectomy is based on a series of devices that are out there that are called stent-trievers or stent retrievers. And these essentially are a stent on a stick, we affectionately call it. It's not traditional open surgery. It is a minimally invasive approach where actually the clot is taken out through a catheter that's either placed in the radial artery in the wrist or in the femoral artery in the groin. A lot of these patients are done with conscious sedation. So you can actually be talking to a patient or a patient who is not talking well, who all of a sudden is talking fluently or is not moving a right arm or leg, all of a sudden who can move that right arm and leg after taking out the clot.
I got to tell you, as soon as the thrombectomy was complete and they moved me to another room, I could do this, which I couldn't do before. And I was up the next day on my feet.
We are the only hospital in the state of Maine that has the ability to do thrombectomy in the brain. For acute stroke care, there is nothing available in the United States that we do not have available at Maine Medical Center.
It's a nice day.
It was great to come home. It was right around the time of my birthday. I was back to work in Sanford 2 weeks afterwards. My employer kept saying, take more time off. And I said, but I want to go back to work. And so this worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you think? This procedure and this doctor allowed him to be able to be independent, to work full-time, to drive an hour back and forth to work every day, to mow the lawn, to do all the things that we used to do.
And I think without the expertise of the folks at Maine Med and Dr. Ecker, you're not sure what your life would be like without that.